Pokémon Run and Bun, a hard Nuzlocke keeping Nuzlockers at bay. While some may have beaten it, others struggled to even get close. And as the guy who wiped the Emerald Kai's Elite Four 2 years ago, I figured, what could go wrong? I can do this. So now I welcome you all to my first attempt at Pokémon Run and Bun. Starting off in our first adventure, we acquire one of the Sinnoh starters. From what I had heard so far, a lot of people tend to pick Chimchar, as Infernape is a strong one in the late game. Funny me thinking I would get to the late game. Well, we'll get to that later. Taking care of the Zigzagoon proved to be an easy task for Chimchar, after which Professor Birch allowed us to keep Chimchar for ourselves. The nickname decided by the chat ended up Chun-Li. Chun-Li, welcome to the team. Now the first task at hand was taking care of our rival. Obviously, because of the type advantage, it should not pose a problem, right? Never mind. Luckily for us, the Nuzlocke doesn't start until we acquire Pokeballs, which means second time is the charm. After beating our rival, finally we obtained Pokeballs, which meant the Nuzlocke has officially begun. Now introducing the team. Our first new member, Ziggy the Zigzagoon. Welcome in, bud. Let's have a blast. Next up was Spirit the Ponyta. Now using the old rod we had obtained earlier, we fished up a Timple, which we accordingly named Kermit. Next up was another friend of the sea, a Tentacool, which was named accordingly Burvey, I guess. And to make the full team of 6 Pokemon, we caught Rookidee, the one and only Pokemon owned by Tinkaton, so of course we had to name it Tinka Owned. Now with a full roster of 6 Pokemon, the first route was upon us. Despite the difficulty of the ROM hack, the first route was pretty tame, pretty easily manageable, which was really nice for us because it meant we could just clean sweep the entire route without any deaths. The most dangerous thing I think was the Spinda that just had Metronome, and yeah, you just have to take risks there, but we got through really well. And we made it through Route 1. As we had now met our father at Battleburg City, he tasked us with helping Wally obtain his first Pokemon, which is the Ralts as per usual. Right afterwards, we encountered Shallows, our new friend for this grand adventure, which we accordingly named Salt. Don't ask me why, it's just its new name. Alright? Unfortunately, we would soon experience a rise in the level of difficulty in this game. As we fought against this trainer right here, I figured the best shot would be to give Shallows the first lead, as he could easily take down Krabby. Later on I started doubting, like this was way closer than I anticipated, so I had to get him out for Clobbopus. In the switch, I decided, Tinka Owned can do this. It's a flying type against a fighting type. It should easily manage. Which it did, but once again, it was a lot closer than I had wanted. As you can see, Tinka Owned went down to 7 HP, after which Yanma came into the screen. I did not know what this Yanma was capable of yet, so I figured I'll go into Kermit when I saw Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom always deals 20 damage. Which means we're just absolutely screwed. This Yanma also had speed boost, so there was no way we would ever outspeed it again. Which meant I had to sack Kermit. I had to switch in someone who could damage here. As you see, Chun-Li Ambers, it goes down to below half. But I had to make another sacrifice because whoever I switch in does not get the opportunity to have a single attack. So as you see here, Ziggy goes down, just like his former teammate, and Pervy comes out. Because Pervy has more than 20 HP, it's able to land a hit. But that's This was everything I could do at this point, there was no other way out for me. Which meant unfortunately we had lost 2 of our good friends. With our 2 fallen comrades, we got Spirit back to fill up 1 slot, but because we lacked another, we encountered this Perez, which was named Perez. Now back and equipped with a full party of 6 Pokemon, it was time to conquer the next trainer. This trainer had 2 Magikarp. Now you might think, these Magikarp, they're not really scary, but as you see, the first Magikarp used Bounce. Bounce has a chance to paralyze, which fortunately we managed to avoid. And the second Magikarp, this one had Hydro Pump. So to deal with it, we simply swapped back into Pervy, the Tentacle, who could tank these, and with Acid we would 2-shot this Magikarp, securing the win. Now having dealt with the Magikarps, we run into this lady. This lady uses mainly Attract based Pokemon, which means our Pokemon are often in love with their opponent. Fortunately in our case, despite being paralyzed and in love, Spirit manages to pull through, killing off Minccino. Next up comes out Jigglypuff. Because we're still at pretty good HP, we just continue with exactly how we were going. However, eventually Spirit reaches the red and I know we have to switch. So as soon as we reach that, I decide, who do we switch to? You know, Chimchar can do this. Chimchar finishes off the Jigglypuff in 2 hits. Having taken down Jigglypuff, Phanpy was the next one. Using Ember, we wanted to get in some chip damage on Phanpy in case anything went wrong here, which fortunately nothing went wrong. Meaning, we could just 4-shot Phanpy and be done with it. I don't think the crit mattered, right? Now we had reached the first real roadblock. The first boss trainer is a Team Aqua Grunt. Boss trainers are trainers that lock your level to a level cap, in this case level 12. These trainers are designed to be extremely hard, but fortunately because we had Perez, we were able to take care of the Carvanha easily. Next up came out Grogunk. Grogunk posed a little bit more of trouble, so we swapped into Tentacool to make the poison type versus poison type. We got off a single Supersonic, confusing the Grogunk, and which I hoped that would actually give Pervy the edge, but it didn't, so we swapped over to Ponyta. It hits itself in confusion, allowing us to switch in free. As we stomp Grogunk, it hits us. Unfortunately, Flame Body activates Burning Grogunk. This lowers Grogunk's attack, which is important for us. A Stomp nearly kills, but just doesn't. Confusion doesn't kill it, but Burn does, allowing us to face Execute. A few Embers, we try and get through it, but it just barely manages to outlive, putting Spirit in a paralyzed state at 7 HP. I don't want to risk it, so I swap in Chun-Li, finishing off the job against Execute just like that. Now that we had defeated this boss trainer, our level cap rose to level 17. We were asked to deliver a letter to Steven, which meant we could get our new encounter, Pancham Poe, at Dewford City. After obtaining Poe, we had to deal with a couple of trainers. They weren't too bad. Perez was able to take out the Staryu with just a few Mega Drains, cutting it a little closer than I had hoped, but all turned out well. After which Arrokuda came out. We swapped into Tentacool to deal with it, and in a long, tedious battle of stalling, Pervy turned out to be the one on top. With a couple of confused rays and assets, we were able to take Arrokuda down before it manages to take Pervy out. Good job, Tentacool, you did great. His next counter was Lombre, for which we went into Tinkaone to get the flying type advantage. Using Pluck a couple of times would be enough, however he confused us, which was slightly annoying, but nothing we couldn't deal with. As came up the next trainer, leading with his Dwebble, Tentacool could easily take it out with Water Pulse, followed by Munchlax. Munchlax would use Belly Drum, making it a really dangerous Pokemon. Unfortunately, our firefighting type Chun-Li was able to take it out with a single low sweep. Out came Sandygast. Sandygast was a bit more of an issue, so we sent out Poe. Ultimately, a couple of Fiend attacks proved to be enough to take out the Sandygast that was in our path right now. So Poe took him out, followed by a Mawile with Intimidate. We swapped into Chun-Li, looking for the advantage in this battle, as we just flame wheeled the Mawile into oblivions. Now that we've beaten both of these trainers, we finally got access to the cave in which we had to meet Steven. But before we meet Steven, obviously, we have to get another encounter, which in this case was Aron. The Aron that we accordingly named Ironhead. It put up a little hassle to get caught, but we managed to get it. Welcome to the team, Ironhead. And trust me, this one's gonna be worth it. After meeting Steven, it was time for Beak Split. Beak Split was pretty tame, just a couple of trainers that we had to get through. Nothing too difficult, no real problems, no deaths, just vibes, you know. So enjoy the short montage as we go through all these trainers, and that's pretty much a breather for the remaining show. Having dealt with the beach trainers, now it was time for the museum. The museum sucked because simply it was 2 battles in a row of each other and there was no healing in between. We led with Ironhead, figuring out that Rock Tomb would be the best opportunity to take out the Murkrow. Then came out Skrelp. For Skrelp we decided to switch it to Pervy to make it a battle of poison types. And in a battle of Stall, Skrelp came out victorious, which meant we had to get in another switch later on. As you can see, this was literally going nowhere. I don't even know why I tried this. We swapped into Salt. With a few mud shots, Skrelp would be taken down quite easily. We should have done this way earlier. Followed by Tortuga. Tortuga is known to be a run killer because it has ancient power. If it gets the Omni boost, a lot of runs they just instantly die, but fortunately for us, Salt was able to take it out quite easily when it came out round 2. Fortunately, because we had picked Ironhead and Steel type, Poison types did not work on us. So the Marini had to use the move Soak to make us into a water type so it could actually hit us. A strategy I might have had to use slightly more in this situation is just swap back into Ironhead because it can touch it. But in this case I decided, you know, Ponyta gets its 5 minutes of fame and it brutally died. This fight is not easy, I can tell you that. So we're soaked again at Ironhead, which means the best option is to swap out. As you can see, it can damage us quite heavily now. So we swap into Pervy. Pervy resists poison types, fortunately. Go back to Ironhead, it can't hit us and we finish it off. Just as simple as that. Next comes up Frillish. We decide to go Salt into Frillish. I actually kinda wanted to sack someone here, but that did not really work out. As we switch into Poe, a couple of Fiend attacks I believe was enough to finish off the Frillish. There you have it. The crit didn't matter, followed by a Whirlipede. We decided to get some chip damage in with Poe, and afterwards I swapped to Monferno. because I had figured fire types take out bug types any day of the week, especially with the speed boost. Now there's the barrel guy. A lot of runners say the barrel guy is free at level cap 21. Personally, I agree to disagree. This guy was awful. The barrel was dealt with easily with a couple of low sweeps and mag punches from Inferno because fighting type is very effective against normal types, as most players know. Next came out the electric. The electric wasn't too much of a problem. Alright, it has Super Fang. Super Fang always deals exactly 50% of your current HP, so it means that like in 2 turns it can always get into a kill range. Even if you can't, that's just tough luck. 2 HP lost Iron Head. Iron Head, who had just carried us so much in the museum battle, died in the barrel guy battle right afterwards. Bo fortunately was enough to finish it off, as we go into Tinka owned on the Ponyta. Play Rough dealt more damage than I had hoped it would, but with a couple of plucks we were able to take out the Ponyta. Fortunately we outsped, and all was well. Next came Sunflora. Sunflora posed more of a risk than I had originally anticipated, like you saw that, 1 HP. That was way too close for comfort. So out comes Dustox. I go to Pervy because I figure, you know, Pervy can handle this. And he handles it quite well, I must say. Next it was time for a couple of encounters, so welcome Shinx, Choodle, Tortuga, Remoraid, and the last but not least, Weasel. Welcome to the team, guys. And trust me, these months, they're going to change everything in this Nuzlocke. But you know, enough waiting. It's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. The Brawly fight. In the exchange of events in Pokémon Run and Bun, Brawly is the first gym leader you'd face. With Tinka owned, we were able to challenge Kafu and take him out. After which came Lopunny. With Lopunny's Retaliate, it always deals double when it's switched in after its ally dies, which caused our Inferno to die here. This Lopunny is really awkward and sometimes. Personally, I forgot that I had Tortuga because Tortuga resists normal types, which made it a way better switch than the Inferno. But fortunately, Koopa manages to outperform Combusken and Lopunny, giving us the advantage in this fight. Out comes Poliwhirl, for which we go to Shinx because Luxio because we have Spark. With a second nozzle, we take out the Poliwhirl, as Lopunny comes back out. Fortunately this time I go into our actual normal resist, but it did not resist death as well as it resists normal. Being unlucky swapping in on a random move, Kermit has to take on a Drain Punch, which is 4 times effective considering it's a water ground type. Fortunately though, we lower Lopunny's accuracy, meaning we get to kill it. As we go into the final stage of the game. We swap out to Dunga, but with a pursuit kill, Kermit dies. We get off an Intimidate and a Paralyze on a Hitmontop, as we swap into Pancham to take it out. After which came out Scraggy. Scraggy is the last Pokemon on this team, the last Pokemon stopping us, so with a couple of covets we were able to take it out and wipe Brawly clean. But wait BVR, didn't Kermit die? I lied. In an unfortunate turn of events, as we were dealing with the gym trainers, the first few trainers weren't too much trouble, as we swapped through them. But Dekzeh is the developer of Run and Bun. He is absolutely evil. One thing he did to me, ruined my entire first run in these gym trainers. As you can see on the screen right now, we're dealing with the first gym trainer. The first gym trainer, it's not that hard. Sure, we struggle at times, but we pull through. We pull through without losing anyone. Because our team is so special to us. And we fight with it through this entire challenge. Winning fight after fight, having close calls, such as Po on screen right now. But we go on, together with our team. Look, this Magohita with guts has a burn on him. We deal with it. We deal with everything that comes our way. This Latian, we just swap out to Chun-Li, use fire type moves, and we go through. We had a plan for everything. We calced everything out. There was nothing that was supposed to be able to go wrong. Because I had the calcs, I had the mons. This was going to be a great first run. However, that's when it happened. Dekzeh hit this awful double battle in the gym. I could have avoided it, but I didn't know it was going to be a double battle. This double battle ruined everything for us. We go in 2-2. I had planned for the team on the left, just for you to know. Fortunately though, using our cards right, we were able to sweep out the entire team on the right side. But because it was a 2v1, we ended up falling short eventually, losing the best mons we had. Like as you can see here, we're still in the fight. We get a spore of a Metatite, getting it to go to sleep, as we focus on the Pokemon on the right. The Pokemon on the right are our main priority, which we really want to take out. Easy, you know? When we get to 2v1, things should be easy. Dunga gets into red HP. That's a problem, because our Intimidate man is really crucial in this fight. Fortunately, with a fake out and a spore, we get Metatite to sleep again and Banary paralyzed and flinched. We take out the Banary, get in some chip damage on Metatite as the last Pokemon on the right side comes out. We try and get it spored as we swap in Tinkaound, so that we can kill the mean foe and make it a 2v1. However, unfortunately, Perez is killed in the meantime. Metatite wakes up at the worst possible time, throwing rocks at us. Meanfo is killed, which brings us to a 2v1. But this Metatite, it goes down. But what happens next? This Machoke comes out, and he thinks, you know, 2v1, I can do this. And don't prove him wrong. He just Vital Throws my Luxio and kills it in one go. Tinkaound comes out. I figured, you know, Tinkaound is red, so it'll target it, but we can kill it first. As comes out Girder. Girder insta-kills with a Mach Punch Tinkaound. So I have to get someone else out, you know. My Chun-Li was able to deal with this all alone, if this was a 1v1. But it was a 1v2, meaning this Girder had the possibility to take out everything I had. So now having a really awkward team for this gym, we deal with the final gym trainer. Fortunately, we get through. We lose Nitro, but we get through. Which is the most important part, just getting through. Get to Brawly and get a gym battle on our first try. Alright, Hakama O came out, but we can deal with this. Chewy has Ice Fang. Oh, it protects, of course. Oh, a Dragon Tail. Sure, switches out. It's not like we're trying to win here. Oh, you add speed, you paralyze us. What else can go wrong in this fight? We just keep going. And Pervy tries taking out an asset, but Dragon Tail shifts it out into Chewy. Chewy can die here. And it's paralyzed, so there's no point in using him. Fortunately, Chun-Li comes in clutch with a Mach Punch, but out comes Golett. We have a normal type move, 2 fire type moves, and then only fire type moves. We were so lucky to get this Golett burned, because that lowered its attack, meaning Chun-Li would survive this battle. We were so fortunate on that, as we got to Brawly. But with this really awkward team, we could try. We could try getting through it, but there was absolutely no way we could. This Kapfu takes out Pancham. Pancham is a really strong Pokemon in this gym, as I've experienced. Then it takes out, with Chun-Li, we get close, but not close enough. Out comes Koopa. Koopa just goes for a few moves, trying to take Kapfu down. Which somehow, people told me when they saw my team, you're going to get swept by Kapfu. And I was like, you know, I agree, this is probably what will happen, yeah. But we got through Kapfu. We beat Kapfu. We beat his first Pokemon. Then came out Lopunny, of course, with the Retaliate that just one-shots whatever comes after it, as long as you don't have a normal resist out. Which meant, Chewy, goodbye, it's been a blast. We get Purvey out, but what can one Pokemon do against a team of 5? Nothing. This was the end. This is how we lost our first attempt. But we gave it our all. We did everything we could, and we just went for it. No regrets, first try, and we'll definitely be back for more. Because Brawly, we know we can beat you. After losing this heart-wrenching battle, I decided, you know, we'll just use the fainted Pokemon and see if we can defeat Brawly had we gotten their Deathless before. So that's the Brawly fight you saw earlier. The one we actually won. The one that was a lie. Yeah, I'd like to thank all of you for your continued support. Leave a like and subscribe. And let's see if we can beat Brawly next time. I think, you know, I'm feeling attempt 2 is the run. Guys, we can do this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all the next time. Peace.